Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Sergio Vidal with Sergio Vidal Cooking Recipes, and on this episode we're going to be making an Italian Bolognese. So I've already started to heat my pan here. We're going to start with some extra virgin olive oil. Nice amount there. Coat the bottom of your pan. Got the heat on low. Let me just grab my spoon here. We're going to start with one medium-sized onion, finely chopped. All right, just give this a saute in your pan with your olive oil. I'm also adding in 7 finely chopped garlic cloves. Yes, 7. It's going to give your bolognese an extra flavor, make it extra rich. So I'm just letting the onions cook down a little bit. Give them about 2 minutes or so, and we'll toss in our minced garlic. Alright, that's been about 2 minutes. The onions are getting translucent. Let's toss in our 7 finely chopped garlic cloves. Again, this is going to make your bolognese extra rich with some garlic flavor as well. Alright, let this go for about another minute or so. And then we'll be adding in one whole carrot, which I finely chopped into cubes. Alright, we'll let this go for another minute and we'll add in our carrots. Alright, that's been about another minute and a half. The onions and the garlic have been sauteing and giving the olive oil some additional great flavor. Let's toss in our whole carrot, again finely chopped into small little cubes. This is what the Italians call an Italian sofrito. So we're going to mix the carrot into our onions and garlic and olive oil. Give this a saute for another 2 minutes. And we're going to add about a half a cup of regular, just a really good burgundy wine here, a red wine. So I'm going to put half a cup now, then I'm going to add another half a cup later. But first we'll let these saute, let the carrots saute for a bit. Give that about 2 minutes. Alright, the onions have been sauteing in the pan as well for about 2 more minutes. Just roughly going around with your wooden spoon. I'm adding about half a cup of my red wine. Gonna preserve the other half. This is just to deglaze the pan a bit. Start giving your Italian sofrito some really rich flavors. It is smelling just amazing in this kitchen with the red wine and the garlic. Fantastic. All right, we're gonna let that deglaze for about 3 minutes or so. I'm keeping this on a low heat the whole time. I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of salt, just to give those vegetables some seasoning for now, and just a bit of pepper. All right, just give that a little mix. All right, we'll let this glaze down, deglaze the pan for a bit. Let the alcohol from the red wine also evaporate. And we'll get back to the next step. All right, it's been roughly 3 to 4 minutes on a medium-low heat. Raised it up just a little bit more. Wine's evaporated a bit into the vegetables. I got 1 pound, that's roughly half a kilo of minced beef. Let's add that into the pan. Just grabbing that bit there. And now let's lower it back to a complete low. And we're gonna mix the onions, garlic, the carrots, all that flavor from the wine. Start smashing down your minced beef. All right, we're gonna cook this down. We want it to where you start seeing it get grayish in color, a bit browned. So keep going around with your spoon, mixing everything together. Get this finely minced into your pan. Alright, it's been 7 minutes on a low heat. Getting this nice and minced. Going around the pot here, mixing everything together. As you can see, there's a bit of fat that's starting to drain off. Let's raise the temperature from a low to a medium. We're gonna just a medium low. And we're gonna give this a couple more minutes, just giving it a stir occasionally, and let's get some of that fat rendered off. It'll evaporate into the pan. Alright, so gonna go a couple more minutes. Again, medium low heat, stirring occasionally. Alright, it's been another 5-6 minutes or so, again going around, medium low heat. As you can see, the fat has evaporated quite a bit. Alright, we're going to be adding the other half a cup of red wine. And that's going to make your bolognese really, really rich. Give that a good stir. You can alternate between red or white wine according to your taste. But a lot of the Italian bolognese recipes do call for at least a cup of regular red wine. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Fairly decent sized tablespoons. We want this to be a nice creamy and rich bolognese ragu. So we're creating the Italian ragu. I'm gonna put my heat on low. Stir in the tomato paste with your mincemeat and that other half a cup of red wine. Get all those flavors mixed up into that pan. Alright. It's looking delicious. Smelling great too. This is one of my favorite recipes. Usually on the weekends. Love making Italian bolognese. Alright, I'm also adding 1 cup of beef broth. And what I did was take a regular beef bouillon cube and just melted it with 1 cup of hot water. Or you can use regular beef broth. 1 cup. Alright, give that a nice stir. Again, keeping this on a low heat now. We're going to let this just go for about 3 or 4 minutes or so. Again, just to evaporate a bit of that alcohol from the red wine. And we'll move forward here with the next steps. Alright, it's been another 3 to 4 minutes. And we've been spinning this around slowly on a low heat. Alright, let's add in some seasoning. So I'm going to be adding in some salt, some more salt. Alright, let's get some more flavor going on. Just a little bit more pepper. Just a little bit more. We're going to be adding in some nutmeg, ground nutmeg as well. This gives it a really nice additional subtle flavoring. Just a little bit of nutmeg. And I'll also be adding just a bit of paprika. Alright, just a bit of paprika. Let's mix in the seasonings. And we're going to be keeping this bolognese on a low heat throughout the whole duration of the cooking process. We're going to toss in, and I got a 500 gram bottle of tomato sauce already mixed in with basil, so fresh basil and oregano. It's about a 500 gram bottle. Just going to back up the camera a bit. Alright, so we're going to mix in our tomato with fresh basil and the oregano. The whole bottle. Give that a good stir, nice and slow. You don't want your sauce coming up outside of your pan here. So giving it a nice gentle stir, getting the sauce nicely incorporated into your ragu, your Italian ragu. All right, we're gonna let this slow cook for about an hour. Low heat without the lid on, because we want this sauce to evaporate slowly. We'll be adding water in gradually as well. So I'm adding a bit of water back into my bottle just so I can, just a bit of water just to clean out my tomato that stayed left in that bottle. So this is roughly, I would say, about 3/4 a cup of water that I added in there. So add about 3/4 cup of water. Almost a full glass. Give this a nice stir. So with that fresh basil and the oregano already in that tomato sauce, it's gonna make this bolognese very, very rich in flavor. All right, we're gonna let that go on a low heat. Again, checking it every now and again, giving it a good stir. 1 whole hour, and we'll see how it is at the end. It's been roughly 5 minutes on a low heat. I forgot to just toss in just a 1/2 cup of regular tomato sauce. Just another 1/2 cup of just regular tomato sauce. Just thickens up the sauce a bit more. All right, we're gonna let this go. Again, 1 full hour. Check it occasionally, lid off, and we'll let the sauce evaporate down. I'll keep checking on this, and I'll keep coming back when I gradually keep adding in water, just so you guys can see those steps as well. All right, it's been 20 minutes, and as you can see, just from the lining on the pot there, this has evaporated down quite a bit, and it's thickened up quite nicely as well. I moved this over to the smaller section on my stove. This pot really isn't that large, and I didn't want it to overboil. So always on a low heat. We're gonna add in 1 cup of water. Again, this is gonna keep evaporating down. So 1 whole cup of water. Give that a good stir. The longer you cook bolognese, the longer you cook your Italian ragu, the softer the meat is going to get. Everything is going to get nice and tender. The sauce is going to thicken up nicely. So we're going to let that continue to go on a low heat. And we'll get back to the next steps here. All right, it's been another 20 minutes. More of that tomato sauce in the water has evaporated down. All right, this still has a bit more to go. Now what I like to do is add a 1/2 cup of regular cow's milk. The cow's milk makes the bolognese extra creamy. And now my favorite part, a 1/2 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, nicely grated. 1 whole 1/2 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. This is a really high quality brand Parmesan cheese, imported from Italy. All right, let's mix that in nice and slow. Get all that Parmesan cheese melted into this ragu, this delicious Italian ragu sauce that we're making for our bolognese. All right, there are some still stuck on the spoon there, giving this a nice stir. As you can see, the sauce is getting a nice creamy texture, a nice creamy color with that milk and the Parmesan cheese. This is going to be one of the best bolognese italianas that you've ever tried. Try out my recipe. All right, we're going to let that go another 20 to 30 minutes or so. Again, always on a low heat. All right, guys, it's been another 20 minutes. As you can see, the ragu has thickened up quite nicely. Just giving it a nice stir. Again, always on a low heat. It's been cooking down for about an hour total. You can let this go for several hours. Some Italians can cook this down to up to 4 hours, just adding water occasionally. I'm gonna let that continue to go. It's just It's just gonna keep cooking down while I got another pot here with boiling water. And I'm gonna start boiling my pasta. I chose an Italian branded Tagliatelle pasta today. Tagliatelle, it's one of the best pastas to use for your Bolognese. All right, it's a little more on the expensive side, but I guarantee you, try out this pasta. It's worth it. So I'm just gonna season. You can also use like a fettuccine or just regular spaghetti. Gonna season the water with some salt, just a bit of olive oil so the pasta doesn't stick. Just gonna quickly add that in. And we'll let tagliatelle tends to boil really quick. So roughly about 8 to 10 minutes. We'll let this boil down. All right, I'm gonna continue cooking my ragu in the meantime. And we'll get back once the pasta's done boiling and cooked and nice and al dente. All right, welcome back, guys. Our ragu has cooked a total of an hour and a half. I let it continue to cook down while my pasta was boiling. Remove my pasta after 8 minutes, roughly about 8 to 10 minutes. Drained it off. Removed the our ragu here, our Bolognese, out of the heat. After an hour and a half, I let it sit for about another 10 minutes. Look how thick and rich this ragu, this Italian ragu, this delicious, fantastic Bolognese Italiana. I hope you guys try out the recipe. Let's serve it over our tagliatelle pasta. So I'm gonna grab a nice ladle. Just bringing my camera up a bit closer. Get that light going as well. So one ladle right in the middle. See how thick that sauce is? You don't want a liquidy sauce. You want it nice, a nice thick ragu, just like that. Beautiful. We'll top it off with a bit more grated Parmesan Reggiano. Again, get yourself a really good quality Parmesan cheese. This is Italian imported. Gonna add some more extra cheese. Never hurts. And there we have it. Italian Bolognese. Again, made here at Sergio Vidal Cooking Recipes. Just get that pot out of the way there. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, spending your time here with me as always. I'm just going to give this a quick try just before I let you guys go. Actually, you guys will get the first bite. So I'm just going to roll that around. Get some of that delicious Bolognese. Some of that Parmesan cheese. All right, I don't want a huge mouthful, so I'm just trying to get a little bit here. Let me use my finger just to help out. There we go. You guys accept the bite, the first bite. There you go. You can immediately taste the red wine and the garlic, the Parmesan cheese. Fantastic dish. Serve it up for your family. They'll enjoy it. All right, guys. Subscribe to the channel as always. Hit the bell notification so you're notified when I upload a new video weekly. God bless everybody, and I'll catch you on the next episode.